What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream. And oh boy, today we are going to have an awesome interview with Povilas Korop. Before we start that, hey Joel, what's up? Nice to see you. Pick and Flow, Mel Troy, nice to see you as well. Joel, what's up? How you doing? Vladimir, nice to see you. How everyone is feeling today? Today we are the best wombo combo of the history of YouTube PHP world, me and Povilas. It will be absolutely awesome. If you guys enjoyed this full interview, please go all the way down, subscribe my channel, put like and everything. And that being said, I'm gonna introduce you to Povilas Korop. Povilas, how you doing, dude? Nice to see you and nice to have you here, man.
Yeah, good to be here. I'm becoming more and more comfortable with live format. I was afraid for so long, so I had a few lives on my channel. Now I'm joining you, like the superstar of live video. Yeah, excited to be here.
Dude, thank you so much. By the way, chat, let me know if the sound of Povilas is okay, if my sound is okay, and everything is perfect, let me know. But yeah, today we are chatting with one of the most absolute favorites in the Laravel community, Povilas Korop. He's the guy behind Laravel Daily. He does a bunch of Laravel courses too, a bunch of cool stuff on YouTube. And yeah, thank you so much for coming today. And I want to start by literally asking you, like, who is Laravel Daily? Because we know Povilas, right? And we know the Laravel Daily YouTube. So I want to ask you, like, who is behind it? Is just that you, or there is more people involved on that YouTube channel?
Yeah, currently there are more people. Actually, there were always more people. It's just they are behind the scenes. And interestingly, at LaraCons, at Laravel Live events, people know me as like Mr. Laravel Daily, or you're from YouTube, you're from Laravel Daily. Not everyone remembers my name, which is not like Povilas' Lithuanian name, so like not everyone like remembers that. But recently, for a few Laracons, I think at 3 Laracons, Modestas was with me. Not sure if you've met. You probably have met
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Modestas, the a person who appeared on a few videos already, so he's more comfortable on camera now. But he's like the man behind the scene with demo projects, with strategy preparation and brainstorming.
Uh-huh.
So that's another person. And then there's a third Nerius, who is more like idea, demos, support, answering comments, answering our Discord and Laravel Daily, more like totally off camera, man. So there are 3 of us, but the great part of that at Laravel Daily, like from courses and everything, it's sustainable as a business for all 3 of us. So for all of us, actually for 2 of us, it's a full-time job. For Neris, it's a part-time job. But yeah, it's like Laravel Daily is, I'm jokingly calling that a media business now at this point. But it started like 10 years ago as a YouTube channel. At first, it started as a blog, my personal blog, when I started learning Laravel, and I just happened to call it Laravel Daily because I was learning daily and just happened to blog about it. Then YouTube started in 2016, I think. And at first it was me alone. And at the time we were doing like consulting work. I was trying to play freelancer, agency, whatever you call that. So the first plan was kind of advertise our services and like do that as marketing channel. But then I just liked it so much. I just continued for many years just being YouTube without any strategy. And then only much later it became like course platform and stuff like that. But yeah, not sure. Like a few people, and for many years I'm the one like the front camera guy, enjoying that for many years.
Right, and you mentioned courses, and I wanted to speak with you about that because currently my YouTube channel, we all know like we cannot leave out of ads, for example. That doesn't work on
Yeah.
YouTube. So on my side, some of my income of my YouTube channel comes from partnerships, meaning that during my live streams, but also during my videos, I have this ad slot which runs on the bottom right at the moment. And you fully do your income from YouTube from courses, correct?
Yep. Well, I started doing AdSense as well, just as an experiment and just for like transparency, and I can clearly show the numbers. So I earn $300 per month from
Yeah,
YouTube,
it's the same thing with
from
me at the
like,
moment.
hundreds of thousands of subscribers and all that big numbers, 10 years
Yeah.
and $300 per month, which wouldn't even pay like servers and stuff. So yeah, it's impossible to like, you have to be like Mr. Beast level of
Oh yeah.
YouTube to earn directly. So that's why, yeah, one way is partnerships, but I started courses earlier and it happened to work, and I'm more comfortable. It's like everyone's style is different.
Yeah.
Your style is more partnerships. I'm not that, I'm not a sales guy. I don't like to like agree on contracts and negotiate prices and raise invoices. And also I'm maybe not comfortable with the product that I would advertise. So I
Yeah.
got approached by quite a few people to do that. But if I don't fully believe in the product and I
Yeah.
don't use that, like in your case, it's totally natural. So you like, we all know Laracasts, like
Yeah.
the
PHP
logos that
Storm.
are on your YouTube, like it's your products. You use them anyway,
Yeah.
most of that. So yeah, for me it wasn't that natural, and at some point I decided not to do that almost religiously. Like I'm trying to be like independent journalist, not
Yeah.
advertising anyone, but at the same time advertising for free. So if I see like good package or good tool, premium tool, I can like talk a lot about Forge, about I don't know, any paid product like a cursor or whatever, but it's not as advertisement, but as like natural thing I
Yeah.
happen to use, and like,
And it's
so yeah,
working, man, because you have 150 followers on YouTube, which is absolutely crazy. And I don't think people realize how much work is into a number like that. You know, at the moment, I have like 20K followers on YouTube, and I have 400 videos already. 400 videos on YouTube just bring me 20K followers, which I assume like to have 150K, it's just so much more work. And I wanted to ask you, like, again, you are probably the person with more followers in the PHP world at the moment. At least on YouTube, for sure, you are the person with more followers. And I want to ask you, like, what is your opinion about my YouTube channel, about the content I am creating at the moment, but also how long do you think it will take me to hit 100K followers on YouTube?
Well, to me, it took like 10 years. I didn't count exactly, but I think that the math should be the same. So if you have 400 videos and you have 20,000, so I have 2,000 videos. So it's like 5 times.
Oh my
So
God.
I guess when you are 2,000 video, yeah, it's bad news probably for you. So but it's not that fast. But yeah, I think it's not about time. I'm not sure actually. I guess for everyone is different individually. I really like what you're doing. Our style, mine and yours are different. You're more like energetic, live mode, passionate about everything, hyping everything. So yeah, and I'm more like analytical, reviewing stuff, more behind the scenes preparation. So people don't really realize how much work. So you're saying the work is in the videos. The work is before the videos. Like I would like say 80 to 90% of work for shooting YouTube happens before shooting and
Yeah.
after shooting, because like thumbnails and stuff, but that's like a smaller percentage. But to get to the idea, then idea with the angle, so I cannot just review a package. I need to find an angle, like
Yeah.
3 tips that like fewer people know or something. Or for example, I need to basically shape the idea, then the demo. So for example, one of the demos that I will publish tomorrow, it took me a week for 30-minute video with all the, because I create demo or my team creates demo, then we go back and forth kind of polishing that.
Yeah.
Do we show the right angle? And sometimes AI helps with that. So we started outsourcing part of the demos to AI, but it's not fully AI. It's like we generate something with like starter kit, like the obvious things. Then I go edit that, or it goes to the team. So it's a process. It's kind of like creating mini projects, real mini projects, and only then YouTube. So YouTube is like the last part of the journey of the idea, of the topic, of the content. So yeah, it's like I told it 2,000 videos, and of course it got much more strategic and more polished like the last couple of years. Before that, it was just shooting whatever. But yeah, it took a lot of reps basically. It's like say like you're a gym man. Come on, you're like it's the same
Yeah,
logic.
it's
Reps
consistency,
reps do
hard
count.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, hard work, consistency, and I think like in behalf of all the PHP community, we must say thank you, man, because honestly, people in the PHP world, they don't realize how useful it is to have someone like you. In many videos languages, we have YouTubers, but on the PHP world, we are like not a lot, and have someone like you who consistently puts videos every single day for the last 10 years is absolutely crazy. It's hard work. So I just have to say thank you, man. I appreciate everything you are doing on YouTube. And as promised, dude, as
Actually,
promised, yeah, go ahead.
I want to say thank you back to the audience. Not sure how many of your people are subscribers and watchers
Everyone,
on my.
everyone, everyone.
But I mean, this is kind of both ways. So I became much more energetic at shooting videos when I saw the demand, when I saw people. So people ask me, how do you come up with ideas? I don't come up with ideas. People come up with ideas. They raise questions. They thank me in the comments. I see the demand, and then I'm really energetic to give more. So it's like two-way street. So I feel like part of the community, but not talking from stage at people. It's same thing. So thank you to the community, to my community, your community, general Laravel people, to keep watching. As long as you keep watching, I'm energetic enough to continue.
Dude, and as promised, I promised you that I wouldn't focus this chat only on you. So we are going to jump straight into some spicy topics, and I think people are going to love that too. And I have come up with some questions here, which I am generally curious about, because you are someone, again, who reviews various different tools, various different packages, and I want to know exactly what are your choices. If you were today to build a SaaS, and maybe let's start with your editor of choice. And I can answer first if you want to. My favorite editor of choice at the moment is PHP Storm. I think last year we have faced potentially 2-3 months where PHP Storm didn't have a built-in agent. And I think that was problematic for PHP Storm. But now with Juni, I think just PHP Storm is back on top. For PHP development, and I've said this multiple times on my streams, for PHP development, PHP Storm is just the GOAT at the moment in terms of refactoring capacities, in terms of having Junie to help us out, built in past PHP tooling too. And, for PHP development at least, I think that PHP Storm is the best. If, of course, because PHP development today has a lot of JavaScript on the front end, I think PHP Storm is as good as VS Code. But I wanted to hear about your opinion about this. If you have to work on the SaaS tomorrow, which editor do you type first to open?
My answer would have been different a month ago, actually. So it's changing just this year, and I have a separate new channel, AI Coding Daily. So I experimented with so many VS Code forks, like various VS Code forks, CLIs, and stuff like that, just for that. So that's why I moved away from PHP Storm. So I was a PHP Storm user for like 10 years or so, like happy customer, happy loyal customer, until I tried Cursor like a year ago. And then I thought, but I haven't used VS Code before that. So Cursor is a fork of VS Code. But when I tried Cursor, I became much more interested in like AI workflows and how does it work. And then I was like, for half a year, I was switching between the two. So if you're right, if I need to write code a lot and refactor something, structure, PHP Storm is undeniably best, especially with Laravel IDEA now being free.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge as well. So all the interclickability of everything, it's like undeniably best. So if I need to work on bigger project, bigger architecture, and just, I don't know, just not sure how to describe, to write code and to make all the work by hand, PHP Storm is still the best. However, as Jeffrey Way likes to say, however, since I'm doing more AI-based work or review work, Cursor surprised me with its automatic autocomplete, auto-suggestion. So I start typing something, and it's so scary accurate. Like the next thing that I wanted to type, and also even in my videos, sometimes people see I start typing and then the next line is autocomplete by Cursor so accurately that I kind of fell in love with that part. So I'm jumping between PHP Storm and Cursor. And also on top of that, if I need to do agentic stuff, so just offload something to AI, then I run Claude Code.
Right.
So CLI. But also I run Claude Code inside of Cursor as a terminal. Because Claude Code, so I give Claude Code just please generate filament resource or whatever. Then Claude Code generates the code and opens it automatically in Cursor on top in the same IDE, and then I can review it. So my workflow now is between those three, Storm, Cursor, and Claude Code, depending on what I'm doing. Am I like working with agent? Am I typing the code and I want autocomplete? Or I'm working on architecture, like actually coding with like I want to do everything by hand, then it's PHP Storm.
Right. Makes total sense, honestly. And something we can agree on, at least in 2025, is, and I've reviewed that during my State of Laravel video, is that Sublime Text, which is something that I used to just use a bunch. I'm just not using anymore because it doesn't have any AI capacities. It's just a blank editor at the moment. And on the State of Laravel, actually the chart shown that there was like 30% of people using Sublime Text, and at the moment it's like 5%, at least on the Laravel community. I think like people just expect to have nice AI integrations when using these editors at the moment.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Well, with AI, what surprised me is with my like third channel, I have a second channel, Filament Daily, and then AI Daily, so I call that third channel. It's surprised how small is AI adoption overall. So a lot of developers are actually, even with my AI videos on my main channel, it's not that popular. So whenever I shoot something about Laravel Boost, about some details about guidelines, it's not that popular. So a lot of developers are in early stages of adopting AI. And also, I think it depends on the company and the projects they work on. So on many projects and in many companies, they cannot actually use AI like in full. Some for legal reasons, some for like company doesn't pay for AI and stuff like that. So I guess it's more tricky. So the editors, I think the AIification of editors started on small scale for now. It will definitely grow bigger, but for now, I think we are in like early adoption stages.
Yeah, I also feel like AI in general is getting to a point where it's hitting plateau. You know, like early on the early days, let's say like 2 years ago, people would be
Yep.
like, every time they would be surprised. You know, they would see ChatGPT 4, they would be like, holy moly, this is actually undeniable much better than before. But now,
Yep.
since the last year, we see announcements and we try them and we're like, it's not that different. You know, it's the same thing. And what I feel is that is kind of getting into this AI fatigue a little bit, which is people, every time they see a video about AI, they will be like, it's very likely to be the same thing as before, or not be that magical, or not be that much better. You know, and shifting a little bit from the AI topic, if you don't mind, I want to shift a little bit into talking about front-end frameworks a little bit. And on this topic of front-end frameworks, I have developed various apps, like in the last 10 years. You know, more recently, I've developed Laravel Cloud, also Pinkwitty.com. And on Pinkwitty.com, I have used Livewire, which I think it's great for just being fast in development. I'm super fast with Livewire, undeniably more fast than I am with Inertia in React, for example. However, on Laravel Cloud, because I was putting a tool that potentially will have dozens of, even hundreds in the future, we don't know, of developers, I had to go for React because of the market. You know, if I want to hire a front-end developer, it will be a little bit difficult if I tell them, oh, this will be Livewire only. People will be a little bit skeptical, especially if you are a React-only developer. So I went with React. And, you know, I wanted to ask you, like, again, on this topic of if you were to develop a SaaS tomorrow, which stack would you choose today for the front end?
Well, I would complete your story in terms of Laravel team. I remember that I think it was James told that Laravel Forge is with Vue.js, so like the third part
Yes.
of the story.
Yeah.
So they decided to keep it Vue.js, from what I understand, just because why not? More like, but you're expressing that brilliantly in terms of why Livewire or why React. It's not about technology alone. It's not tech choice, it's market choice. Like you're saying, 100 developers. So yeah, that it makes sense why React. So it's not that Livewire or React or Vue are better or worse. It depends on scenario. Wait, where's my cap? So yeah, this is my cap that so
I
yeah,
love it.
that explains everything because yeah, it depends, but it depends on what. So Livewire is great for rapid development, for backenders. So I'm pretty bad at JS and CSS historically. I'm a core backender, and whenever I could offload CSS to like themes or templates, whenever I could offload JS to some, I don't know, again, themes or templates or teammates, I would prefer not to write front end at all. Stay with like PHP backend APIs, databases, optimization, and stuff like that. So Livewire was natural like progression
Oh,
in
yeah.
terms of that. But again, if the project, for example, recently we started one internal project which I cannot announce yet, and we were debating between like Livewire and Filament or React, and yeah, like for longer term strategy, we chose React because Livewire is great for, I don't know, I don't want to call it hobby projects, but more like rapid. Like if you want to launch something rapid, if you don't depend on teammates who may not be familiar with Livewire, it's like for fast, rapid. I don't know, maybe MVP is like the number one choice, but not necessarily. And React is more for I don't know if you have project like in your case, Laravel Cloud and
Yeah.
Laravel Core Team, you have budgets for like years ahead.
Yeah.
Hopefully, everyone will survive. All the team for like, I asked Taylor recently, like, will all of those people have jobs in like 5 years ahead? And he said, don't worry, like we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
So yeah, you have long-term strategy, and that's why you need to choose more stable market-wise technologies.
Yeah.
So yeah, my answer is it depends, but it depends not on technical side, but more about environment, about what is your team, what is your goal. Do you go for fast, quick delivery, or do you go for long-term stability? Also, do you need like front-end thing with React? You have ShatCN. With Livewire, we have Flux, but is it on the same side? So a lot more people would be familiar with ShatCN and be comfortable with taking over some projects in the future. Flux is more like niche thing, I guess, as popular as it is in Livewire community, and Livewire itself is popular in PHP in Laravel community because Livewire is Laravel.
It is. Yeah.
React is like much more like it's undeniably bigger. So then it opens up the possibilities to hire other developers, more integrations, more components ready-made, and stuff like that. So yeah, at the end, it depends.
Now, it was a great answer, and I'm happy to, kind of share the same opinion as you. But I'm very grateful of having these two frameworks. Talking about frameworks and tools, in terms of tooling, you are obviously a fan of Laravel Pint and past PHP, hopefully. But besides these two, man, I want to know your takes on this tooling team, because I'm a big fan of, again, every time I start a project, there is various tools I use: Pint, Past, PHP Stan, Ractor. I kind of have all this tooling ready for me. I even created my own starter kit with all
Oh yeah,
these
I saw that.
tools. Yeah,
I will actually. I'm gonna review that, by the way,
you
at
will?
some point, like in a
Nice.
few weeks.
Yeah, yeah, and
I saw
comes with
that.
all this tooling at level max in every single one of this tooling. Plus, I have like Pint with all my configuration being different a little bit from what it ships with Laravel. So I want to know your opinion on this topic. If you are super into tooling, and if yes, which tools do you use currently? If you were to start a SaaS tomorrow.
Uh, well, currently I'm mostly working with smaller projects like demos and stuff, which are not very big. If I start a SaaS, I would probably use pretty much everything that you mentioned. I'm not a big user of Rector, to be honest, so that would be like at the step 2 or step 3 when I introduce Rector. So I'm not as big fan as yourself on like strictness of everything.
Yeah.
I'm a bigger fan of like rapid development, and we go like with good enough. I'm a big fan of like 80% done, and we release. Of course, again, it depends on the scenario. I don't have the projects which like depend with like millions of dollars for any failure or transaction. So my risk level is much lower. So for example, if even Laravel Daily Com goes down for like 6 hours, is it a big deal? Like it's a content website. Like it's,
Yeah.
it's not a like processing transactions or anything. So yeah, so my risk level is lower. That's why I'm partially a bigger fan of not too much tool, not too much overkill up front. So I introduce things as I go. So definitely Pest, definitely Pint. With Pest, now I became a fan of browser testing as well.
It's so good, right?
But yeah, it's so good. Like what you introduced on stage, I was like jaw dropping. Then I tried it myself, tried it with like Filament and a few more things. Yeah, that was impressive. However, surprisingly, actually, I had a video about it on my channel, like hyped about browser testing, and wanted to show the world, like shot like 17 minutes video with various features. And surprisingly, that video didn't took off. It was
Yeah.
like on my YouTube, it was like 7 of 10 or 8 of 10, which
Yeah.
was like, was so surprising. So I still have a theory that a lot of developers don't write tests,
They don't care about
basically.
tests. Yeah. They don't care about
Yeah,
tests.
and browser testing is even more niche
Niche.
because then you have to like to set it up on live server. Then you have problems with like, are all elements ready for browser testing? Is it fast enough? So it's like totally new world. So in a way, I hope that with AI you can generate tests quite a lot, and so it will maybe become better. But yeah, still until this day, I'm surprised how few developers care about testing, especially given how easy it is with Pest. Even with PHP Unit, it's easy, but with Pest, it's like even easier. Yeah, I was so surprised that I'm like, not everyone is hyped about Pest and browser testing.
Yeah, I think like I had the same question when it was live on Laracon US, and my feeling overall was like, if you ever have used Dusk, you will be like very happy about this.
Yeah.
If you haven't done any kind of browser testing before, you will be like, well, looks cool, but I don't really understand like why people are like hyping it so much. In terms of content, I feel like in general, as you said, people are just not into tests in general. Most people watching, YouTube, but also in general, watching our videos, they just want to, learn literally. They want to learn, development practices. They want answers like, what editor should I use? Which language should I use to begin with? Laravel looks cool. Show me some features. And testing is something that typically, I don't know, only people with 5 years of experience would probably jump into. My first test was probably only 4 or 5 years after my very first line of code.
Yep.
So in general, I feel like testing is a little bit like that. How about PHP Stand though? Do you use PHP Stand, and if yes, which level do you prefer typically on PHP Stand?
I typically don't use Stan at the very beginning of every project because, again, for demos, it doesn't make much sense because it
Absolutely.
wouldn't be more valuable if I show like level 6 or 7 on my videos. People wouldn't even notice on my videos. But for like, by the way, side note, we don't have any client work at the moment. As Laravel Daily, as I told, it's like media company or whatever you call it, we don't have client work. So the only project that we do have are our own Laravel Daily website, filament examples, our quick admin panel, so internal projects, which are not very huge. And we have plans for more of them, but still, again, our risk level is a bit lower, so we don't have bigger client projects. That's why, and we have small team, so we like PHP Stan would solve the problem, which wouldn't bring that much value to us. So we care more about delivery on the ground. PHP Stan, we use it on our team in a few projects with level, if I remember correctly, level 6 or level 5. No, it was level 6, I think. Not higher. We tried higher, but in like level 9. I think Modestas tried on some project level 9, and it ended
It's
pretty
too
quickly
much.
with like, no, not today.
It's too much, yeah.
So yeah, so Stan would be like if I had more serious projects at the moment, or like more risk of like the code would be strict, then yes, Stan would be my choice. But at the moment, we don't have much need for that.
So I think like in general, I think people actually should go for level 5 in PHP Stand for web development. If they want like the perfect level in between being fast plus strictness, I think level 5 is absolutely good already.
Okay, yeah,
The level I use, which is level 9 max, is just too much. You need to be a little bit crazy to use that level, I think.
exactly,
Because it
exactly.
doesn't make any sense. You are using PHP, you want to kind of enjoy development, and PHP Stand level max will, point you to levels like that languages like Rust gives you. Like it's just too strict for web development.
Yep.
So I'm using it because I'm a little bit paranoid. But in general, for example, on Laravel Cloud, we are on level 6 at the moment.
Okay.
And on Pinkery, I think we are as well on level 7, if I remember correctly. For packages, I go for level max 2 because the code is much smaller too, But yeah, talking about packages, dude, I saw you reviewed Laravel MCP recently, right?
Yep. Just
And
I think it was today. Yeah, published today, this morning.
and I saw your tweet about Laravel MCP, and you said something like, "I'm not sure how many people are going to actually use this," and I think Laravel MCP is in general looks exciting. Ashley truly believes on that the MCP protocol will really take off. I'm still in the between. I think it will be used. I don't think it will be as used as some people think, but I also don't think it will be ignored completely because all these people behind these AI agents, they want to actually make that chat really, most capable as possible. So they want to provide tools so people can just buy tickets to flight or buy, hotels, rooms for their vacations. And I wanted to ask you, like, what is your honest opinion about Laravel MCP at the moment, or MCP in general?
I think with AI, we are again at early stages of adoption, and it changes so rapidly. So you said that now we kind of AI fatigue and not much new
Yep.
stuff happening, so not many new models. So I think we can agree that Claude 4 was big jump, which was like 6 months ago or so, maybe 4 months. And then since then, GPT-5 was okay, but not that revolutionary. And yeah, with models, we are kind of like not that revolutionary as much. But in terms of what is happening behind the scenes, there are a lot of experiments. And MCP, I see that as the biggest experiment, but what will happen with that experiment 6 months ago, 6 months after that, even from the market point of view, maybe AI LLMs will come up with some other protocol, with some other way of like passing the data to AI agents. Maybe agents will become, I don't know, some new paradigm of like how make it faster or something like that. So I wouldn't bet on MCP specifically to be like the holy grail and the future. I think it will be pretty big in niches. So if you have a tool like Forge, like Nightwatch, like I don't know. Basically, if you need API for your tool, then you need MCP. You will need MCP like in 6 to 12 months. Ashley said it on Twitter. Like MCP will be huge for even for branding, from branding point of view. If you have API and you have MCP, then you're cool. Then you can be used by AI agents. And this will be like the whole like sales pitch of like, we're cool, we're using MCP, which actually brings me to Laravel MCP, because by introducing MCP, Laravel is like taking the lead as a framework, as a technology, as a tech stack. Like, we're cool, guys. We have MCP. Like, what other frameworks are so ahead? I'm not sure. I haven't like researched the market, but I see like a lot of people tweeted like Laravel is like ahead with that, like ahead of the curve. And so from branding point of view, MCP is cool. Practical usage on the ground for now will be pretty low, and I stand by that statement on Twitter. So even a lot of people on my Twitter and in the comments ask me like, how do I use that? And for most people, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe to release Laravel Daily MCP for like getting Laravel tips or something in addition to documentation. But even that example would be kind of artificial. I could release it as API. I'm not sure. So I'm still, even like for myself, I cannot come up with my own personal example of really practical MCP usage. So for now, I see it as a concept. And for some tools, MCP would be the same as API, but for broader usage, I would be more reserved, I think, for now.
I totally agree with you. And just to expand on why Laravel is doing this, inside Laravel, we have various potential uses of MCP. So we need this ourselves. So that's one of the reasons why we developed this. We wanted to use this on Boost. So that's why we have done Laravel MCP. That's one of the biggest reasons. But like in the future, we have plans for expanding Laravel, AI in Laravel, like allow AI development to be done with Laravel. So we need MCP. How much the MCP adoption will be in the future, I agree a little bit with you. For the regular people, probably not as much. But for some companies, especially the big ones, they will have MCP tooling. One example is I reviewed CodeRabbit 2 days ago on my YouTube channel. And they have this integration section on their dashboard full of MCP integrations, like linear, GitHub, so you can literally just within CodeRabbit, you can, close a linear issue or close a GitHub issue. And, so I fully agree with you. And I just wanted to expand a little bit on this. Back a little bit to tooling and development again. You probably see that I'm super vocal about the action pattern. Super vocal. And while preparing this interview, I did a little bit of research and understanding what is your take on this. And I saw that, especially on demos, you don't use the action pattern at all. meaning that you are just
No.
super explicit on putting the code on the controller itself.
Hmm.
But again, on the topic of if you were to build a SaaS tomorrow, would you go with the action pattern by default? What is your take on it in general?
Yeah, so it's such an ongoing question. Like from, I don't remember 6 or 7 years ago, it was first version when I released the course How to Structure Laravel Projects, and until this day, this question remained unanswered. People still are asking, what should I use, action or service? Or luckily, repositories went away. Finally, after
Finally.
so many years, we are done with them.
Mm.
Finally, but so many ways to structure. So Laravel, I call Laravel as freedom. So freedom of choice, how to structure the project. So outside of controller, where do you put the logic? For demos, I usually, if I can, well, my logic in demos usually is pretty small. So it's controller, then form request, as much as possible validation. And then the question becomes service or action. And this is kind of 50-50. For service, I feel more freedom to do whatever in services. I just call it like, I don't know, user service, or usually service is related to one eloquent model with operations, but it's not like for CRUD service. What would be the example? Like, I don't know, ticket booking service or hotel booking service, which takes care of like 5 methods inside, like check something, put something, kind of like CRUD on steroids related to one eloquent model, for example. And in service, I feel freedom. In action pattern, I see more strictness
Yeah.
to obey the pattern of one action. Then I have to double think what would be the actions and where do I call it from. So just to feel more free, I go for services as the first choice. I'm not against action patterns. I see the logic. I see your tweets and hype and everything. And it's not only you. A lot of people actually prefer actions. And action pattern is just another kind of reincarnation of what was it, bus, or like
Command
in
bus.
different languages it's called differently in different
Yeah.
languages, frameworks and stuff like that. So it's like the same old thought with another twist. And also you can call like action from, I don't know, from tests, for example, or
Yep.
from terminal like commands, which is more, I guess, unit testable. So I see the benefits, but for faster delivery and to not restrict myself into some pattern, I go for services just for more freedom. And for now, like it paid off. And actually, thinking about it, whenever I ask AI to generate something, like what was the example? Oh, remember that. I had a flight booking website, which was a Livewire big form with 6 steps, and some of that was generated with AI with pretty broad, like I generate like the first version 0.01 with AI, and by default, whenever I ask to generate a CRUD or something, AI goes with services. Pretty much all the time. If I don't specify any pattern, services is like default, and actions, if I specify in Laravel Boost guidelines or whatever guidelines that I prefer action, yeah, it's fine. AI is good with that. But by default, if I don't specify, then services is the way to go for AI agents as well, it seems like. So yeah.
From my understanding, you enjoy abstract away logic from the controller,
Yep.
but you don't enjoy how strict the action pattern is of only
Yep.
having a single method. You prefer to have this user service class where you can have as many methods as you want.
Yep.
I have, one of the biggest reasons why I like the action pattern was also to abstract away the logic and not having it in the controller, meaning that I can, call that action no matter the layer I am on. I could be in a terminal, I can call the action. I can be on MCP tooling and I can call the action. And I can be on
Yep.
controllers and call the action too.
Yep.
Also, other biggest reasons why I like the action pattern is like how modular it is, in the sense that you can have an action that changes multiple actions in the process, and at the same time, they are agnostic from each other. You can test them in isolation, and I'm happy that this pattern is literally taking off because people are seeing the advantages, and you have no idea how many people want me to create content on this. So I may do
Yep.
it in the
I saw
future.
that.
I may do it in the
Uh,
future.
I saw that. I remember you tweeted, asked the audience like which topics should I take or something, and action was like
Biggest, yeah.
upvoted pretty heavily.
Yeah, I may do it. By the way, chat, just to do a small pause, if you are enjoying this interview today, please go all the way down and subscribe my channel. Also, put a like on this video to really show me how much do you love Povilas. And yeah, talking a little bit about PHP 8.5. Have you seen the new release in terms of features coming for PHP 8.5 or not yet?
No.
No, really?
As much as like PHP and Laravel reviewer I stopped following the hype. Like for quite a while, I stopped being like early adopter because I come from the place where what my audience wants. So if I release something about 8.5 now, my audience typically wouldn't care about that because they don't have practical usage. So I became a much bigger fan of a practical usage of something on the ground today that I can show and we can all share. So PHP newest versions, I usually read Brand's blog, Stitcher.io, whenever he releases something like new, because he's really great at summarizing them. But until something is released, even PHP 8.4, on some projects we are still on 8.3, and as a team, we didn't see much like huge benefit of upgrading to 8.4. There are like bells and whistles here and there, but to me, like even with Laravel, actually, Laravel 12 point something, I keep reviewing new features, but since like to me, Laravel is almost feature complete since like Laravel, I don't know, 8, I guess, or 9, because like new features are mostly like quality of life improvements, nothing revolutionary except for like starter kits and skeletons a little bit in Laravel 11, which is good. It's not a criticism, which is good. So the framework is stable, and whenever new comes up with new version, even with Laravel 12, I remember I was in Egypt at the time and I shot the thumbnail for YouTube video calling Laravel 12 the boring version. Because like there was literally nothing in there. It was just like stability release, upgrading something, which is great. So with PHP, I think like since 8.1, I think, I don't remember what exactly was the feature, but 8 was huge. Well, 7 was huge from 5 because of speed improvements. 8 was huge, and 8.1, I don't remember which feature. I was like huge fan, and 8.1 was like no-brainer. Since then, I don't know. I'm not a big hype person for like small syntax sugar type things.
Additions,
You are more into that, I guess.
No, you mentioned very important things, and let's start with the first one. You mentioned like how stable things look like recently on Laravel, but also in PHP. And I think people do not realize how important, especially that is now with AI. You want AI to generate like modern code that looks modern, and if you change things, the code generated by the AI for the next 5 years will be still the old one. So you want to be super careful with additions you make into a framework. So stability is super important, especially in Laravel and PHP. You mentioned PHP 7, but PHP 8, and I think the PHP feature you said that was revolutionary is probably property promotion on a constructor.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
That was 8.0 from what I remember.
8.0, yeah, 8.0, yeah. That was a huge one.
Oh, I remember it. Now I googled it. Enums was in 8.1.
Oh yeah.
So that's the huge thing.
Yeah, enums, I'm using it all the time with methods on it. I love enums. And we're going to talk about, maybe we can actually talk about this. You mentioned like enum as being your favorite feature with property promotion. For me, it's probably on the latest PHP features, probably that one's too, I think. Obviously, short closures in PHP 7.4, if I'm not mistaken. I would love to have multi-line short closures, not coming anytime soon, apparently. DD may comes, dude. Literally, last week I got in touch with a PHP core team member, and I asked them, like I asked you, would you like to come to my YouTube channel, talk a little bit about the PHP core team, and maybe do a pull request to add DD to the core. But my thought was like the guy would like allow me to clone the repo locally and maybe code the feature on C, but not actually doing like an RFC. And I was like, yeah, we do a pull request, but that's the end of the story. And the guy said, maybe it's not the end of the story, Nuno. And I was like, wait, what? And, maybe DD will come in the future. We don't know. But yeah, excited about stability of PHP. Excited about like how Laravel as a framework looks feature complete, and I think it is feature complete. And everything we are seeing now, it's more like things coming as an outsiders, like Laravel MCP or starter kits potentially. And how about the future of PHP though? Do you think PHP is like in general is also feature complete? There is anything you would like to see in PHP in the future?
Well, I think there are two topics here: PHP as a language and technical side, and PHP as language from like branding and marketing. So PHP is still not sexy, like whether you like it or not. But I remember Taylor on a few podcasts mentioned that like he went to Silicon Valley, to San Francisco, to meetups with the guys. Then he raised the investment, obviously. But like the story was like a few years ago or 1 year ago, before the investment. He was on a mission. He still is on a mission to make PHP more like sexy, broader for Silicon Valley guys. And I remember his podcast with Matt Stauffer. So they were brainstorming how to do that. Like, how can we influence the boot camps, the universities, because this is where it all starts. Because it seems like the whole world is like React and Node.js and Python and everything, and PHP is still that guy in the corner, like so not much have changed broadly, and I think we will not, unfortunately, will not see a huge shift in PHP being like the next big language. It's still like not as sexy. It is growing, and we saw like guys like Prime trying PHP and JavaScript community trying PHP and hyping that. But it's still like, it's more like a hype and stunt and everything. But of course, from Laravel point of view, PHP, they did a lot of like huge work with Laravel Herd, with PHP.new, with starter kits, with now Bootcamp, with new like Learn Laravel.com is initiative to start PHP for everyone basically. So they're trying to make PHP more like approachable, sexy, and good to start. And this is a good mission, but unfortunately, I don't see shift in the market so far. So even like when talking to AI guys broadly, they still don't look at PHP as much as it became popular. Laravel is actually carrying the flag, I think, in my opinion. If not for Laravel, PHP would be in much worse situation than it is now. But still, it's still like it has its own place in the market.
Yeah.
As a language, PHP is great with all the new. So people who haven't tried PHP since like PHP 0.5, they're still kind of talking crap about it, but they haven't tried. Feature-wise, PHP is great, but to convince the market to like fully shift and adopt a new language instead of what they were doing for many years, it's not that quick. And I'm not sure what would be the solution here. Like, talk to more people.
I have one.
I don't know. Like, we have to do more marketing for PHP, but
I have one.
outside of our bubble.
Yeah, I have
go
one.
ahead.
I
You
have one. I actually think, and this might be controversial, I think people like you and me, we are way more important on this marketing strategy than people may think. In the sense that I think it's impossible to convince existing market that your language is better. It might be better, but I think it's impossible. Meaning that if someone, just think a little bit, like if someone comes to you, Povilas, and you would say, you need to build this with Java because Java is good. And you probably would answer, yeah, it's probably good, but I don't care. Like, I do PHP, I'm familiar with everything. It doesn't make sense for me, So I think it's impossible to convince the existing market. However, what is possible, though, is convince the new kids, the new generation, that PHP is actually very good. And people sometimes, they see my content on YouTube, and it might happen to you too, which is they would say something like, what is that thumbnail? Doesn't look professional. What is that music in the beginning? It doesn't look professional at all. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I'm not interested in convincing the dinosaurs of PHP that my content is good. I want to convince the 20-year-old kid that PHP looks sexy, And for that, I cannot do boring stuff. I need to be entertaining. I need to be energized. It's the only way, you know. And sometimes on Reddit, I see people like complaining about my thumbnails or complaining about the tone of my video, and I'm like, I don't care that you complain. You are like fucking, you know, probably too. I don't need to convince you. Basically, I need to convince the new generation that PHP and Laravel are the best things out there. And for that, I need to be entertaining. I need to be, you know, funny. I need to be hyped about stuff. That's the way it goes.
Yep.
So if we manage to convince this new generation of developers that PHP is good, we may see a marketing shift. And this happened, if you think a little bit, this happened with Vercel in JavaScript a little bit, you know, Next.js and React, even React. They are very popular today because they started working on this 10 years ago, convincing this new generation of kids with schools, with content creation, with influencers, that JavaScript is popular and good. So, you know, anyway, just to say that I think people like you and me, they are way more important in this marketing shift than people may think. And yeah, so if anyone here is listening, you would like to create content on YouTube, let me know and I will help you out. I will help you out. I will teach you everything I know. As long as you promote PHP, I'm chilling. But yeah, let's, you know.
I like that idea, by the way. Yeah. And I like, for the record, I do like your hype. And for the record, in the past, I was also that guy skeptical, like, wow, Nuno is overhyping everything. But then I realized it's partially part of your personality, so you cannot judge that and argue against that. This is just Nuno style.
Yeah.
But also I realized also that thing, maybe from marketing point of view or general, you cannot be boring, you cannot be dull, you cannot be me basically.
No,
So
no, no, no,
I'm more analytical, and actually a few people at Lara Collins told me like I have to smile more on videos. I don't, because well, I'm in the zone of delivering the information. Right. So your style is more hype and energetic, and this is how you convince people that something is good. So I do agree with that
Yeah,
angle.
appreciate that feedback, and people love your content. By the way, it doesn't matter if you smile or if you don't. People love your content, and we are grateful for that. Again, we need more people like us, honestly. So, for anyone listening, if you guys want to do content creation, let me know, and I will help you out. Jude, one last question. I want to be respectful about your time, and what do you think about the future of programmers? And I'm gonna answer first on this one because I'm gonna be honest, man. 1 year ago, I was scared. Like I was literally scared. You know, maybe the reason why I started this YouTube channel was because of that. I was like, holy shit, I may actually get out of jobs. Like, you know, because you go to Cloud Code today, it's actually impressive. You go to Cloud Code and you ask for scaffolding an app. You just said like, you just scaffolds the entire thing, and the code is actually good. You know, now I'm a little bit more skeptical. I don't think AI will actually steal any jobs, but anyways, how about what is your opinion on this? Do you think like in 5 years from now, we will still be like writing code? What do you think?
I like the take from Aaron Francis on this. So when GPT-5 was released, I'm not sure if you saw that on Twitter or Aaron was in his newsletter, he told like he liked that GPT-5 is worse than it was hyped. So OpenAI were so good, like we're releasing like the next big thing,
Yeah.
and then released it, and the market goes like, meh, like yeah, another model.
Yeah.
So this was kind of the point, at least for now, that the models stopped being revolutionary, and also as you told like earlier that we are a bit overhyped with AI. So if we go out of those scaffolding and starter kits and demo projects and like snake games and all
Yeah.
the AI videos, demos that all the AI influencers hype, if we go outside of that to real live project, which may be legacy code, bigger infrastructure architecture and stuff like that, you cannot use AI in the same way you can use AI to like generate a service function for you when you prompt for specific. So it's totally not the same, and that's why AI loses its appeal, and it lost its appeal for many developers who tried. It was like cool as a toy, it is cool, but in real life, it's still in the early stages. And also, but that said, I think that as developers, we are gonna shift, and we already need to shift in the way we think. So a lot of developers, even before AI, the best developers were those who were thinking from business side, about business, and about the mission of the company, about the mission of the project, value for the client. So they were kind of shareholders, stakeholders in whatever is the outcome of the project, instead of being a delivery man of the code by like whoever gives the task, like project manager or teammate or client. So those programmers who didn't just deliver the code but thought broader and like broader perspective, those were like the best hiring and the best paid, which leads me to Laravel team. Whenever I see it now, it's getting harder with like 70, 80 people. Even Taylor doesn't know anyone, probably everyone, I mean, like by name. So at Laracon US, it was so tricky. So I'm talking to someone at Laracon US and I don't know if he's Laravel employee or not. So, but yeah, but anyway, but the first, I don't know, 20, 40 people of Laravel core team were so much hyped about Laravel in general, about the idea, the framework, the value, the community. They came from community, most of like yourself. I recently DM'd with Dries on Twitter, so he was one of the first employees. And whenever I talk to someone like Joe James, you name it, like people who believe in Laravel mission so hard, that's the real programmer. So that programmer and developer is not the one who writes code. It's the one who cares about the mission, about the outcome and stuff like that. And with AI, it's shifting in day-to-day work. So we would probably need to do more prompting than writing code, more reviewing than writing code. But for that, we need to understand the context, the business context, why we're doing that, what should be the outcome, what should be, like, for example, I can ask AI to generate tests, but what should be the cases inside of those tests? So I need to understand the outcomes. I need to understand what should be the failure cases, what cases should I even test, what should be the inputs and outputs. And for that, I need to understand the business context, and I need to care about that business context. So I think over the years, developers will undeniably have to shift. They had to do that even before the AI to get like better paid, but at some point the boilerplate code will be more and more written by AI, and the mode of a developer who may not even be called as developer in like 5 years from now. Do you remember the term? There was webmaster. There was a word. So in the 90s, when I started, there was a person, webmaster, responsible for pretty much all the IT at like the company, like web servers, email, printers, whatever. In a way, we're getting back to that full stack world where developers would be responsible for the project outcome, whatever is the stack under the hood. Some stack of that will be written by AI, some not. So in a way, we're shifting toward project managers in a way, also code managers, project managers.
Code managers is a great term. Code manager is a great term.
And this is a lot of, for a lot of developers, it's uncomfortable because developer and managers are such like different mindsets. I try to be a manager. I try to play an agency, a freelancer. I call it play because I failed at that, because my mindset isn't that good at like managing people, clients, sales and stuff like that. It's not my thing. But the shift in my mind, like getting up and opening like Trello or email, and it's totally different set of tasks than being a developer. So in the future, I think more and more developers would need to go to work and think like project manager, offloading some work to agents or to whoever, and it will be a mix of reviewing the code, getting the task, taking care about infrastructure and security will become huge, I think. So to make it all work, so AI is good at generating code. Now, how do we deploy that? And this is what comes to another level. So I think a lot of jobs will shift, and writing the code will be less of a daily work, but it doesn't mean that there won't be any developers. Developers may be like do different tasks, but developer as a broad term will survive for years and years. And if we have any like AI huge shift in AGI or whatever you call it, I think the world will have bigger problems than developers losing the jobs. So I think developers will be fine for like 10 years at least,
10
probably
years.
more.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much touched on all the points. I think like just like you, context is the most important thing. I think people over time they understood that actually having an AI scaffolding the entire code is not actually good in the long term. So you need to kind of be specific about the prompting. You need to go slowly. I mean, becoming a code manager, I love that expressions, by the way. The code manager is actually a very good one because you are literally managing the code that goes to the source code. AI is suggesting you can accept or not, and you are literally just guiding the AI to write the code for you. It scared me. Like, I'm going to be honest, man, it scared me 1 year ago, 2 years ago. But now it's becoming way more plateau than I thought. And, I think also like you, we are going to be fine for the next 5-10 years at least. Povilas, I want to be really respectful about your time. So I want to throw you 5 rapid fire questions, okay, to
Okay,
finish. So basically, I'm going to
sure.
ask you a quick question, and you have to answer
Okay,
answer A or B. For example, and just as an example, if I were to ask you PHP unit or past, you would pick your favorite right away, which is past, for example. So you have to say one answer, and you answer as quick as possible. Are you ready?
well, let's try it. Yeah,
Okay. So do you prefer coding in the morning or at night?
morning. I'm a morning person.
Okay.
Early morning.
When you have a bug, do you debug manually or you ask AI for fixing it?
Both. Manually first. Manually
Okay.
first, but then if I'm lost, then AI.
For making non-trivial queries, do you use Eloquent or the DB facade?
Eloquent first. If it fails, then DB facade.
For debugging, DD or Xdebug?
DD.
Oh yeah, DD for life. Last question. Did you ever apply to work at Laravel?
No, because like 5 years ago, I realized I'm unemployable by Laravel or whoever. It would be an honor, but it would not fit my lifestyle with family. So no, I have not.
Povilas, thank you so much for joining me today. By the way, chat, if you enjoyed this conversation, please hit that like, that subscribe, and add on the comments below what do you think about the topics we have just discussed today. Big thanks, Povilas, again. Dude, thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I catch you next time.
Pleasure. Pleasure. Yeah. Catch you later. Yep.
All right, so we are still live, but the interview is over. Dude, thank you so much, man. That was awesome.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest, man. You are absolutely a beast on live content. So you were said you were afraid or whatever, but you are an absolutely beast. I must tell you that.
Yeah. Maybe a lot of coffee helped. Yeah.
All right, dude. For just leave the laptop open for the last. You can click on leave on the button below. You have a leave button and leave the studio. However, just leave Chrome open a little bit so I can receive the full upload. Mine is done. I'm not sure about yours, so you might want to just leave the Chrome open if you
For
don't mind.
now, it says 95%, so
Oh,
should
it's
be pretty
almost
quick. But yeah,
over. Almost over.
so we'll leave it open anyway.
Nice. People are saying thank you so much for this interview, and I think that's
I will read the comments later on YouTube, I guess.
okay. By the way, chat in Povilas too. I'm going to now go to post-production with this interview, meaning that the VOD will be available if you guys like to watch this live stream. However, I will do some post-editing and publish a proper video on my YouTube channel as usual. But yeah, Povilas, you might click on leave. Dude, thank you so much and catch you next time, man.
Yep. Yeah. Catch you. Bye.
All right. That was it, chat. What do you guys thought? That was a fun one, right? I loved it. Oh my god, Povilas is such a legend, man. Povilas is the GOAT, honestly. He is the GOAT, chat. That was awesome. Yeah, I loved it, man. I love his takes on software, his takes on, computers in general. We need to be pragmatic in this world, and Povilas is definitely a pragmatic person, Chat, I love you all, man. I'm gonna go back to work at Laravel. I have some dinner tonight with some friends. That will be awesome. By the way, we have a new YouTube video. Okay, so if you guys haven't checked my YouTube channel, go check it out. Subscribe my channel. But we have a YouTube video about MCP tooling, and so I have actually 2 new videos. One about the MC project we have just delivered at Laravel, and the other one about building an MCP project. So if you guys enjoy that kind of content, go there, put the like on the video, and subscribe to the channel too. But yeah. Guys, I love you all. I'm going to rate someone on Twitch as usual. In case you don't know, every time we end a live stream on my channel, we rate someone on Twitch. By rating, I mean sending all my viewers to a different channel. So let's make sure we do that. Who do we have online at the moment? Let's see. So we have the Primogen. Let's rate Primogen. Is literally sleeping at the moment or what? I don't even know. But let's rate them, all right? That being said, catch you guys next time. Peace out.